very much. So now let's hear from somebody with a different career, and that's Emily. And Emily, you remember when I introduced her, she said she was a mechanical and a manufacturing engineer, and she works at Servier, and she got her degree from Waterford IT in 2012. So Emily, tell us a little bit more about your career path then.
Perfect, thanks Niamh. I'm going to go back right almost to the start, and I remember being you guys and all those years ago and thinking, what do I want to do? And I remember going to Trinity College and seeing a tutorial on engineering, and I was hooked. I don't know why, didn't have a clue what I could do. And so I just decided to chance it. And I studied mechanical and manufacturing engineering in Waterford IT. But before that, I actually did a PLC course in electronic engineering. So I knew from that 1 year PLC that engineering was definitely what I wanted to do. And I moved into mechanical and manufacturing. And during my 4-year degree, I was still, I don't know what I'm going to do. What can I do? What does an engineer do in the real world? And it was kind of through the college, through work placement, that I went to a factory, Servier. It's a pharmaceutical factory based in Arklow in County Wicklow. I'd never heard of them. I didn't want to move to Arklow. And I just took a chance and said, okay, I'll try it. And I suppose a month after I graduated, they asked me to come back. And I've been there for the last 9 years. So what does Servier do? It's a tablet manufacturer, and we make specific tablets for people with lifetime illnesses. So people who go on our products would be on them for the rest of their life. And it really is something that when you're working in a field that you know you have a handle on making somebody's life better, it just makes it so worthwhile doing anything in that company. So for me, I started back in 2012. I joined Servier as the packaging engineer, and my role was looking at the equipment that we had, trying to make them work better, smoother, faster, making the operators' lives easier, and trying to improve the quality of our product going out the door every day. I did that role for about 18 months, and I still, like when I think back, I didn't know where I wanted to be, in 2020, 2021. But through my engineering background and through my mindset and what I've learned in engineering school, I went straight from being a packaging engineer to a project manager for an international corporate project within Servier. So I spent a lot of time in France, a lot of time in Poland, working with my colleagues there to implement a software on site that all sites around the world will eventually actually implement. The last installation went into Russia there last year. Again, I spent about 18 months, 2 years on that project, and I then got another promotion to work in what's called the performance team. In performance, again, you're looking at how you can improve things, but we were actually involved in a huge transformation of the site, where it wasn't just small changes that we could make, it was how can we change what we do and how we do it to be the best that we can be. And it was amazing to be at the heart of that change. There was only 4 of us. And it was amazing to have the opportunity to work on such a deep transformation of the site and to change and build the future. Then from there, I moved to a corporate position. Our corporate headquarters is in France. So I didn't spend a lot of time in France that year. I actually had a lot of international work where I spent 3 months in Rio de Janeiro. It was work Monday to Friday and a holiday every Saturday, Sunday. It was an amazing experience. And I also went to Moscow and again, a bit of time in Poland and a few other sites around the world. So I got to see and meet a load of different people, and I got to teach them the skills that I had learned in the last couple of years. And that was amazing. When I got back, I was then promoted again to the performance manager. So I now had a team of performance engineers with me, and they were looking up to me for inspiration and guidance. And it was such a change for me. But again, coming back to my engineering background, you learn the tools, you learn how to do X, Y, and Z. But what engineering gives you is a way of thinking, and it gives you a way of approaching life and problems. And no matter what you face with, you can always strip it back and come back to your basics and always find your way out. And then just, I suppose, recently enough, about a year ago, I was promoted again, and I am now what's called the head of performance. So it's like the director of performance. I sit on the senior management team on the site, and I make the strategic decisions for the team, for the site as a whole. There's about 400 people on site that I would have a social responsibility for. And again, my engineering brain is different to the guys on that team. There's 10 of us, and I think so differently. I bring something completely different to the table because of my background. And so if you're even thinking about engineering and what could I do, I would just say go for it, because the world is your oyster when you have an engineering degree because of the way you're taught to think and approach life. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
That's super. It's such a varied career as well, Emily. I know it's focused around Serbia, but you got to do so many things and all that travel as well. And did you spend long periods of time in Moscow and Rio de Janeiro, or were you in and out, or what was that like?
There was a bit of both. One of my trips to Moscow was 7 hours. So that was, you don't see a lot, but mostly you're there for the closer destinations a week. But then 3 months, another one of my colleagues went to just outside Beijing in China for 3 months. So definitely a lot of opportunities to travel and to see and experience other things without having to move. Yeah. Amazing experience.
Wow,